This is my city, this is my division.
Joshua Buatsi, a man that many believe is destined for greatness.
Medals are not handed out, bro.
Against Craig Richards, a man who's won British titles, challenged for the world title.
What a win for Craig Spider Richards!
The result will be inevitable.
You have to understand, they've known each other for many, many years.
We know one day we're going to fight.
It wasn't an if, it was a when.
Two brilliant domestic fighters, but two world-class fighters as well.
They've come to that crossroad now. Is one of you got to go, and who's going to make the move? I reckon it could be a fight of the year contender.
How was the flight over?
I was meant to sleep, but I didn't. So, if you see me dip, that's the only reason. But I'm good, man. It's nice to be back. It's sunny as well. Very, very different.
Obviously, I know he's very conscious about what he says. He wants to put on, obviously, a certain image. So I think sometimes he probably wants to say a lot more than he says, but he don't. He chose the role to be the guy, the good guy. So he can't really say on camera what he wants to say.
I think, bro, real talk, honestly, I think this means nothing.
Me, I just thought, you know what? You got something to say it. And if you don't want to speak, don't speak. It's simple.
How you portray yourself, how you come across, it means nothing. Because as I've said loads of times, there'll be the time to fight, and that's what matters.
I personally think I've been a little bit of a bee in his bonnet for a little while. In an interview someone sent me where he basically said that when I boxed Sterling, it was like a kind of an indirect to say, I'm going to take him out and you're next.
I've boxed him and I sparred him before, actually. I boxed him in the amateurs years ago. And then I sparred him when I came back from the Olympic Games as well. So it's not surprising that we're fighting.
And knowing by him, he would have took that to the point where he kind of probably thought, all right, well, if he's on to me, then eventually I'll be on to him. And I kind of think that maybe annoyed him a little bit.
And funny thing as well is that I see Spider's mum at the fights as well. And I always go up to her, I say, how you doing? I hope you're good. Hope everything's blessed. And she always says, you know, you're gonna fight my boy one day. And I said, yeah, man. She goes, it's nothing personal. I understand it's part of the game. I said, yeah, man. For now, we ain't fighting, so we're cool in that. But we know one day we're gonna fight. This time, this is the day, this is the time.
I'm not, obviously, clearly, I'm not media trained. I don't know about saying the right or the wrong things. I just go by how I feel. So if I feel to say something, I'll just say it. If I don't feel to say it, I don't. So sometimes people say, oh, I'm gonna go to the press conference, I'm gonna be like this, I'm gonna be like that. I won't preempt that, because if I'm not in that mood, I won't do it. How are you? Good?
You all right?
Right, you okay?
Hey, mate. You all right? You talking, guys?
I know, we should have put a barrier.
Simon, you love your boxing and you're going to love this because these two boys at light heavyweight are going to go at it. This is Craig Richards, who is Buatsi's opponent, and Craig joins us live this lunchtime. Good afternoon, how are you, sir?
Good afternoon, I'm very good. I'm very good.
And of course, Buatsi's going to be in. You okay with Buatsi joining us in here?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to be joining closer than this in a few weeks.
I don't even think you need to talk shit. Just say honestly how you think the fight's gonna go. Because how do you think the fight's gonna go? Do you think you're gonna, yeah, but do you think you're gonna stop him?
You know, bro, if the opportunity comes, I'm there to do it.
Yeah, but see, this is where Buatsi is now like. You'd be a great politician.
But Will, would you not say that you're partly responsible for the media-trained answers? We spent so many years trying to get it out of him.
We don't need to media train. It's all about authenticity. Josh needs to be the man that he is on camera, behind camera. There's no act. There's no act that you need to, train him for. But I know him, and I know that he believes that he'll stop him. But you're probably being a bit overly generous there when you say, if the stop is there, I'll take it. You think you're going to go and stop him, so tell him that.
What's the ultimate aim from your point of view?
Unified division. I want to win all the world titles. That's what I want, and that's why I'm in the gym. I learn every day.
Simon, if this was a job interview, Craig's just nailed it, hasn't he?
That's absolutely right. And there's been observations about Joshua not perhaps at times committing himself the way he has. He's now no longer in that zone. He's in the zone now and going to America to train. But this is a great division because you've got these two boys that are real bona fide contenders at world level as well. It's a glamorous division with a lot of excitement. This is a great fight. This is a proper fight.
I just believe that based on my abilities, my experience and everything on the night, I will become victorious. But I do believe that he isn't going to be a pushover. He isn't going to come and just lie down, take 2 shots and think, oh, it's a long day in the office. I know that he is going to try to grip down, and I've just got to make sure it's the point where you can't do anymore to grip down. You just got to get you out.
Do you mind, Craig, if we ask Buatsi in the next few minutes how he's going to approach it and how he sees it on the night in terms of beating you? Josh Buatsi will join us live in studio. Craig's next opponent is going to be live in just a moment.
Yes, sir. Oh, you got me sitting next to Spider.
What's happened to you since you've been to America, mate? You've
What's
been
happened?
looking like you're just out of rap video. Hey man, how are you?
Nah, changing it up a bit.
Do you hear his accent? He's put the chair up high, look, so he's already towering over.
I don't know why you not got me next to Spider for, man. It begins. Good man, it's good to see you.
We heard from Craig Richards. Craig, you spoke very well. And now you're sitting shoulder to shoulder with the man you're going to be fighting. Is it too much to ask for a handshake before we leave the studio today?
I'll show Craig, son, listen, like I say to you, before the fight, I'll even buy you a hot drink if you want. But when the bell goes, I know what time it is, and so does the opponent. So for me, that's not an issue, man.
Craig was saying he's got the utmost respect for you. It's mutual?
It is, man. I've known Spider for years, so now it's cool. Outside the ring, you know, I'm easy, but when we get in, we know what we have to do, so.
But when two guys like each other so much, do you really want to fight them?
It's the sport that we're in. We chose this, do you know what I mean?
Craig, I noticed when Josh was speaking there, you were looking at me. You're both looking at me. Listen, I'm flattered. It's delightful. But you're not kind of locking in visually to each other.
You know, it is. I think, you know, with fighters usually, say for instance, for example, if I box the guy from Russia or America, you see each other online, you watch each other on TV, you finally see him in real life, you're sizing him up, you're gauging him. As you said, we've seen each other, we know each other well, there's nothing to size up, there's nothing to gauge. I'm not going to be intimidated, he's not going to be intimidated.
Eddie, what have you done to us here? I don't want either of these two to lose.
I know, they're both speaking very well. And
honestly.
But our job is to give them both the best opportunities in the sport to go on and change their life, but also to chase history and legacy. This is the fight for both of them to do it.
Tragically. Well done, guys. You were absolutely immense. Josh, well done, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Lovely, lovely respect.
You both did.
Same,
man. Good to see you, right? Simon Jordan, okay. So we're all going in now. See them together. So we just went to do an interview and I had to sit next to him. Thanks for that, Will. You didn't even give me the heads up. But yeah, you know, you do like a one-on-one interview and that, and then you see your opponent later on. But it's good content for the public, so it's got to be done. No biggie.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to London ahead of a huge press conference for a fantastic fight. I say domestic fight, but also a fight that has such huge ramifications for the world 175-pound scene. Of course, Joshua Buatsi, Olympic bronze medalist, against Craig Richards, a man who's won British titles, challenged for the world title. Two different paths. Joshua Buatsi had the stellar amateur career. He went to the Olympics, signed the deal, boxed at some huge shows as well.
When I'm in that ring, I know what I have to do. I know what the situation is, what the setup is. In the States, we always say nice guys come last, and that's what it is in the ring. This may lead to the world title fight next, so for me, no matter who it is, I'm prepared, and I think I'm at the point where I want to fight these guys. I want to get into these big fights. So for me, May 21st is the first stop. We handle that, and then we deal with whoever's next.
Had to do things slightly more different, box on some smaller hall shows. You took the Frank Buglioni fight on a week's notice. You went and boxed Shakan Pitters in his back garden, beat him by knockout. You boxed Dimitri Bivol in a very close fight. A lot of people felt that if you believed in yourself enough earlier in that fight, you'd be sitting here as world champion today, and very different paths to meet each other today.
I've had a lot of domestic clashes, a lot of grudge matches, and all of that today has built my experience and my ability today to be confident enough to go in to win. For myself, I want to get back into that mix, win a world title, and I think this is the bridge to cross to make that happen. He's not silly enough to just like gas himself up to say, yeah, this is an easy fight and I'm just going to go there and walk over Richards. He's not stupid. So I know that he's going to be preparing diligently for me.
In that ring, I know what it is that I have to do, and on May I'll be ready.
So obvious to make this great domestic fight, but thank you for both guys for accepting it. Joshua Buatsi against Craig Richards, an eliminator for the WBA Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. Don't miss it, live on DAZN all around the world. We're going to have a head-to-head here, and both gentlemen will be available for the media. Thank you for coming today. Thank you.
Hey man, I tell you to film. You can film what I'm about to say. I tell you, be careful. We're entering Oakland. You got cameras, you got phones. You gotta be careful because we're entering the hood now. We're exercising. It's good. It's a Sunday, but you gotta be careful. I've been out here for, let's say, for this camp, I've been here for like 5 months. Overall, I've been coming here for almost 2 years. Yeah, so it's been non-stop. Long time away, man, but I always say it's a price to pay, and this is how I did it.
This track day, the worst thing you could do is anticipate or predict what you're gonna do with this guy. There'll be some sprints, there'll be the bands where it's tied to the waist. That's like the worst part of the session.
They just track work, you know, it's a little agility, working on just his quickness. It's just like any high-level athlete. You tell them what to do, they're gonna do it, and they're gonna trust your guidance.
66 seconds. Yeah. Usually I get 73.
At the same time, we got to be mindful of, you know, peak times and all these other things that we're calculating, because everything's down to the science now. Not let that level drop below where we need to be and just keep it nice and stable going into these last few weeks. I'm preparing for a fight. I'm going to take every advantage I got.
I'm not really a betting man, but I'm gonna have a little go.
All right.
No, don't. No, it's gotta be precise.
Because you're my mate, bet 6.
6.
Yeah.
But I feel like 6 is like standard. Like I feel like it's gonna be like either a 4 or a 9 or something.
To be fair, I was thinking 4, but I thought 6 for the safety. Give
Yeah,
myself
yeah,
2
but
rounds.
We'll go 4.
Window 4.
I'll go 4.
Give 4 and put your money as a backup bet on 6.
No, 4 or 6. I'm not gonna go 4 to 6.
You could do 4 to 6. Oh no, the odds will be better 4 to 6. Do 3 quarters on 4 and a quarter on 6.
All right, cool. I'm betting. If you lose, I will pay him back.
No insurance. Carl, we all got goals of our own. It's not like one person's here and they're like the golden boy and everyone else is here for the ride. Every single person in our gym, we've got their individual goals and ambitions, so we all got to focus and we're all just pushing each other and working as hard as we can.
Hey, Buatsi's working hard, bro. You're fading already. Don't fade, Buatsi, don't fade, bro. You don't fade.
Yeah, I believe like you got to make sure every stone's turned over. You don't want to go into that ring thinking, oh, I should have done that. Shouldn't have missed this session. Should have pushed a bit harder in that session. You want to make sure you're walking that ring now and you've done everything you can in your power to make sure that you're going to get the victory that day.
Oh, the improvements he's just going from strength to strength. I was very impressed with the Bivol fight. I think if he would have started a little bit earlier in the fight, maybe straight from the off, potentially he could have won that fight.
He's still undefeated and still.
As I say before, time and time again, when it comes to my boxing, out of everyone in light heavyweight, I've probably had it the hardest in terms of CVs and wins. I think with JB, because of his amateur pedigree, because what he'd won in the amateurs, of winning a bronze medal in the Olympics, he's been tipped as the guy to do the big things.
Your boy, Joshua Buatsi.
Yeah, I love Buatsi. Buatsi, I've known him a long time. He's my brother from the GB squad. We went to Olympics together. I class him as a very, very good mate of mine. And 2 of my mates, 2 of my brothers are fighting, and yeah, it's a bit of an awkward one for me.
These snakes, eh? Snakes in the grass.
Oh, Abdi Jama. Abdi, welcome.
I told him for years we'll never speak again. Nah, me and Joe are close, but I know what it's like. He can't really, he knows him as well, so you can't be out there just picking sides. So, you know, I won't put him in that position.
They've come to that crossroad now. It's one of you got to go, and who's going to make the move? everyone will respect him for taking that fight right now, but it's a fight that needs to happen. I know what level Buatsi's at, and Buatsi is a great fighter. Yeah, genuinely, I think it's a 50-50 fight, and I reckon it could be a fight of the year contender. Buatsi, it's his will to win. He always dug in deep, whether he got outboxed in the first round in the amateurs, which a lot of the time he did. The second round, he come out, he put it all over him. He's got that belief that loads on his side. He's got that strength inside of him, and he goes out to beat whoever's in front of him.
Who is the best light heavyweight? Is it the guy who's proved himself as a pro? Is it the guy who's based on potential, based off what we've seen as an amateur? And I think this is kind of the sort of fight to say, look, all right, it was Spider the best.
When I came out here, I said, Don, I need to find a church. He said, I've got a church for you to come to, Josh. I said, cool. Most Sundays, this is where I come. My faith is important for me. That, for me, is what gives me the confidence. The training bit I have to do, I get it. But, you know, the confidence that I need to perform and to do what I do comes from my faith. It's number one.
And we need other things other than what your eyes can see. Faith in God is something that you can't see. So I'm glad that he came. I'm pretty sure he'll feel much better.
For sure, man.
He's better prepared for this fight, in my opinion, than he was for the last fight. Possibly maybe this guy is a better fighter. He needs to be better prepared. And so I'm confident that he will definitely win.
People do different things to be mentally stable or to give them the confidence that they need. And for me, that's what it is. I mainly concentrate on improving myself and making my strengths stronger. And that will find the weakness in them.
A lot of people talk about this being the toughest fight of your career so far. Bolotnik's was very tough. Do you view that this is the biggest test of your career so far? And of course, whenever there's a domestic rivalry, if you like, whether you like each other or not, you are from a stone's throw apart as well. There's always going to be that extra edge to these fights.
Yeah, there is, man. And I feel, again, I wouldn't dub it as the hardest or this or that. For me, it's just the most important fight in my career right now. It's the next fight. It's the fight that I must win. Last time it was Bolotnik's cool, but this time it's Spider. And for me, I'll prepare as diligently as I do. Come May 21st, I'll be ready, man.
Yeah, this is home. Quiet life by the river. When I can't get to the gym, just come out here in the night, wake the neighbours up a bit.
Craig, I know you've got a great boxing brain. You study the sport, and I know that the familiar answer to this question is whatever it takes, by any means necessary. But how do you beat Joshua Buatsi? Do you have to outbox him? Do you have to take him into deep waters? Can you stop him in this fight as well?
I knew he was always going to fight. I knew 100% we was always going to fight. I knew, like it was 110%. I knew we was going to cross paths. It wasn't an if, it was a when. It was just at some point, when are we going to cross paths?
You have to understand, these guys know each other, both from Croydon and Crystal Palace. They're a stone throw away from each other. They've known each other for many, many years.
I realised they was interested in the fight. I was like, all right, it's coming up. They gave me a call. 258 gave me a call before my last fight, saying they was interested in me and Buatsi having a fight, possibly next. So I just knew at that point, yeah, it's coming. This is the turning point in the career. You know, he's a big stamp in the division, big name. You know, it's a serious moment. So yeah, it shows the magnitude of the fight. Prepare all round the board. I've got to be prepared for everything. At this level, you can't just go, all right, I'm just going to win it off a jab, or I'm going to win it by just closing him down and going to work. You've got to prepare for plan A, B, C, and D. You might have to get rough and ready. You might have to box, be clever. It all depends on the night. And make sure you execute what you need to execute to win the fight. I'm glad now I'm at the point in my career where people are finally giving me the credit and are saying, oh, do you know what? This guy's actually good. You know, he's put up a good performance against Bivol. He beat some good names, some unbeaten guys.
For me, I've got, less than 5 days till I leave this country, which feels like a prison sentence is coming to an end, because I've been here for a very long time, trust me. But camp's not over yet. You know, we stay locked in for the last few days. Now I'm just having like a walk, a little stroll. Put it out there, you would not catch me doing this in England. I keep saying that. But out here, the views are nice. I've said it so many times. The weather's nice as well. I don't know if the right word to use is tranquil. I think that's the word, but this is nice. nice, man. It's relaxing, it's calm, it's peaceful. Sometimes when you're just looking out, you get to think a bit more. For me especially, it's just nice to be out here because I'm 8 hours behind England, so I have a lot of time to myself, a lot of time to think, to reflect, a lot of time to rest. Again, you can hear the water pounding against the rocks, stuff like that. I'm chilled, man, do you know what I mean? Woo!
Oh man.
I got that motherfucking
Some California shit right there.
Imagine I was saying that, oh, you won't catch anything here, it must be boring. This I wouldn't do back in England on my usual day-to-day, so it's nice to do something different. It's nice to be able to do something like this. Very, very good camp I've had. Mentally, I'm good. Physically, I'm good. I've done what I had to do, so it's a price to pay, and that's what I've been doing out here, man. May 21st couldn't come any sooner for me.
Sometimes in boxing, they don't want to make these fights. We'll wait for our world title shot. You need to stop waiting.
It's going to be a dominant performance.
I'm fighting for my future right now.
Fighters out there that are queuing up for a world title shot that is not imminent, don't stall your career when you could be involved in brilliant fights. Fights that could take your career to another level.
This is the big fight in Britain to step me on to the next stage.
Joshua Buatsi against Craig Richards, an eliminator for the WBA light heavyweight championship of the world. It's going to be a tremendous fight.
And I'll do everything within my will and my power.
Like all of them, they do fight a hard fight, but the result will be inevitable.
Don't miss it, live on DAZN all around the world.